Hello, my name is Lucas. This is a bit of lit, and I have been escaping into the fantasy realm of The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I bought this, I believe, last month, and I needed it desperately. I haven't read it since high school, and I remember my chemistry teacher joking that I was the only one that made a habit of reading, even though I barely read in high school, because I was carrying this, not this copy, I had a different one. This copy seems to come from the UK, because the back has just the UK there, a little hard to see, but has the British pound and $11.99. What's special about this is that all the illustrations are by Alan Lee, illustrated by Alan Lee, and maybe you can see there are a tremendous amount of illustrations by him to show all these different moments, and they're all amazing. Look at that. That's absolutely incredible. Really beautiful, greatly detailed, really gives you the impression of what the woods look like, and of course, how can you forget the classic scene where the dwarves are wound up in spider webs. The artwork just does so much for the rereading experience. This is exactly why I bought this copy, because I have it on my Kindle, but it doesn't have any illustrations, and I happened to go to the International Bookstore when I saw this, and I saw it had a ton of illustrations. Let me show you some more. And I thought, you know what? It's worth the money, in my opinion, just based on that. And you know what? Let me show you something else. Each chapter also starts with a little black and white illustration, and there are some chapters that sort of end with these black and white illustrations, and it's just truly fantastic. Here's another color illustration of the Battle of the Five Armies. You got the orcs, or the goblins, whatever. I should know this, I just read it, but you got them over here, and man, elves, whoever else fighting over here, dwarves, and do you see the eagles? No, not yet, but just incredible. On the other side, we've got the mountains, the dwarven place. Absolutely incredible. Where is that ending? La-di-da. Here we go. Final drawing, Balin, Gandalf, and Bilbo all together. Gandalf admitting that it was basically a prophecy, and that none of this happened according to your own accord. I made sure it happened. Rereading this, I didn't realize how early that Smaug's destruction was foreshadowed, and what I really love about this book is I didn't realize how perfectly paced it was. A great sort of children's book, lots of excellent adventure, moment to moment. There are times to breathe, and then the action picks up, and it's always new and fresh and interesting, and it all builds on itself when we get to the climax with the Battle of the Five Armies. My favorite part of the book is what happens right before, when Bard has killed Smaug, and it has destroyed Lake Town, and, everybody finds out, and the Elven King comes, and they sort of talk with each other and take care of each other, and they decide, let's go see what happened to the dwarves who unleashed this havoc on us. And the tense situation there, how Thorin Oakenshield changes completely, and becomes greedy for his own gold and the Arkenstone, his family heirloom, and how Bilbo tries to assess the situation and make peace, even giving up, if he has to, his share of the goods that he was promised, to make sure that no trouble comes from this. And I just think it's excellent. I mean, everything that has happened since the Trolls, basically, has built up. We've seen the orcs again. We have the great scene. The only thing, yeah, we don't see the Trolls again, of course, because they're stone. We don't see Gollum again. Riddles in the Dark, excellent scene. The motivations that the orcs have, their rekindled spirit and hatred for the dwarves, perfectly natural. The frustrations the elves have, especially with having kidnapped, having taken them prisoner and then them escaping without leaving, which I guess is against the law of their realm, perfectly reasonable. The eagles are there because of Gandalf, perfectly reasonable, I guess. The men fighting, and Dane for the dwarves coming to help protect dwarven territory. I mean, the men from Lake Town, I mean, it's all like perfectly reasonable. It's all been built up, and Bilbo does his best after Smaug has been smitten. Yeah, it's just an excellent adventure. Great moments before the climax, which is perfectly fine. It kind of happens. I think it's done well. Don't get me wrong, but it sort of slows down from there, and isn't quite as exciting because Bilbo is out of the picture for a lot of it. Though you do see some action, and then of course everything really winds down, and we say our goodbyes, and Thorin and Fili and Kili are dead, and Dane becomes king, and Bilbo makes his way home and finds that people are trying to sell his house because he's presumed dead. You would think this would have happened much earlier than him right when he shows up. That is one issue I have with it. But overall, really excellent book. Great fun. The perfect kind of escapism that I needed. Comfort reading, you know? Because it's been quite hectic for the whole world, for America, for everything. And yeah, I'm quite happy I read it. I love this edition. Yeah, take care. And take care of yourself. No matter what happens with this election, you need to take care of yourself first and foremost. And if that means comfort reads, that means comfort reads. Thank you and goodbye.